like Kyler Murray, I'm just curious where you are with him, just in general. I mean, I think he's below 500 in his career as far as wins and losses, but just somebody once said, it's one thing to not have a franchise quarterback, but it's another to have the wrong one that you've invested in, and he kind of seems to fall in that category for me anyway.
I'll tell you, Dave. I've had this conversation with him on several different occasions, and it's interesting. I think the best guys, the franchise guys, are not only okay with, but actually prefer to be boring, right? I mean, if it's like Tom Brady once said to me, he was like, "Hey, listen, like if the first read the progression is open, if we're running curl flat, for instance." And actually, it wasn't Brady. It was Byron Leftwich, who was coaching Brady at the time. He said, "Here's the beauty of Tom Brady. If we're running curl flat, which is a day one concept, and the flat route is open, Brady, and that's the first read in the progression, Brady throws it 100 out of 100 times and puts us in second down and 6-, second down and 5, second down and 4, whatever it is. And he never, ever gets bored being on schedule. He's like, that's the right play. That's the play you make." And with Kyler, I think the best game, I called a game, an Arizona game after he had what I thought was the best game I'd ever seen him play. And he was like 21 of 26 and, for 210 yards and maybe 2 touchdowns, whatever it was. But he was just on time, on target, underneath throws, completion percentage. And he was like, "Yeah, I'd really like some more runs and some more dynamic plays in the offense." And so are you more concerned with making SportsCenter highlights or winning football games? Mm-hmm. And I think that's endemic of a lot of young quarterbacks who have always been kind of the guy that scrambles around and makes the big play, and that's exciting, and I get that the fan bases get all juiced about it, but it doesn't win in the NFL. It doesn't consistently win when you're playing that position. And I will always look at it like, hey, man, I want to be on schedule, and that guy for me plays way too much off schedule, way too much 50-50, and I just don't believe you're going to win ever with that. And he'll make some dynamic plays, and it'll be exciting, and there'll be a bunch of SportsCenter highlights, but ultimately you're going to sit around, a couple games below 500 playing that way.
Looking at the Seahawks quarterback situation with Sam Darnold, for me, Mark, there was a ton of skepticism. I just didn't know which version we're going to get. The guy from the first 6 years of his career, the guy that was present in Minnesota for the majority of last season. And I'd say to this point, he's been that guy from Minnesota. I mean, he's completing 70% of his passes. He's top 10 in the league. He's tied for first in average per attempt at 9.1 yards per attempt. He's got a quarterback rating of 106.5. He's not thrown for a ton of yards, but he's been really, really efficient. I'm curious, just your take on what you've seen out of him so far, and do you think I don't know how skeptical you were, but he's slowly winning me over, and I'm curious where you're at with him.
Yeah, I think first off, I don't know what 9.1 yards per target means, and I don't know what 106 quarterback rating means. It means nothing to me.
Those are good numbers.
When I watch him play, he's really good, and that's mostly what I care about. Yeah, it's interesting. I did the Carolina game, which apparently I'm the official broadcaster of the Carolina Panthers. I think I got 11 or 12 games this year. I guarantee you I'll call 7 of them. So, they're going to be sick of me. There's no question about that. I did have one of the greatest lines ever in any broadcast. It won't get, nobody watched that game, so nobody really cares. But Dave, I'll send it to you because you'll appreciate it. Bob, I'll send it. I'll let you look at it too, Bob.
Oh, thanks,
But anyhow, long story short, you look at Sam Darnold. He went to the Jets. I don't care who you are. I was digging through game balls at my house. We were packing things up, and I found a big box of game balls. And I'm digging through these game balls, and I found one, a September game for the Jets. And I just laughed. Nobody should get a game ball for beating the Jets. I felt like I should return it. You know what?
That's not so impressive.
Right. This is not. Maybe I donate this one to charity because, I mean, you shouldn't get a game ball for beating the Jets. So, ultimately, you're not going to win with the Jets. And it's like you go in there and he gets drafted. He's a third overall pick, and they try to make him, run the Peyton Manning offense. And, like, that doesn't work. And then, it's funny. I'm doing the Carolina game, and they're talking about, the local, hey, is Bryce Young, can he be a franchise quarterback? And I'm like, well, you just had Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold on the same team. You're like, nah, neither of these clowns can play. We know what we're doing over here. I mean, I'm sure Dave Tepper, their owner, is sending out scouting reports as we speak. They're like, some organizations can't get out of their own way, and usually that starts with ownership that actually thinks they know something about football, which is like, you're a billionaire. You made billions of dollars processing credit cards or whatever the hell. And so you have so much money you can buy a football team, and now you're offensive line bend your knees expert. I mean, give me a freaking break. Get out. Like, let people do their job. What a moron. So, oh wait, I've got to go call that.
I was going to say,
from Seattle right now. Do not clip this and send this out. This is not to be. This is just us in the trust tree. Okay,
that's right.
I got to walk into that stadium. I got to walk into that facility on Friday and go watch practice. And I'm going to just let you in on what I said on the broadcast. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
So this is good. You're gonna love this, Dave. You are gonna.
Do we need to sit on the dump button here? Or
no.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure I'm going to get a call to the principal's office eventually. But like, you know how I am, Dave. Like, something pops into my head and it's too good not to say it, and then you just deal with the consequences. So we're doing something on their receiving corps, and one of my pregame things was, hey, somebody else other than Tedoroa McMillan, their rookie wide receiver, has got to be producing or has to have production at the receiver position. And, which is that's a pretty legitimate thing to say. And so we put this graphic up in the first quarter, and it's Tedoroa McMillan has, 27 targets, has 216 yards receiving, and then he's the rookie, and then every other receiver on the roster combines for 141 yards. And so we put the picture of the guys up that combined for 141 yards, and in the middle of that is Hunter Renfrow, who doesn't look like he plays in the NFL. He looks like he works at Cinnabon in the mall. That's what he works like. He is skinny. He's got no hair. He just does not look the part. And so I circled him, and I said, I'm pretty sure that guy repaired my refrigerator last week in my kitchen. And, I get my producer in my ear go, he's like, okay, settle down.
He's afraid of where you're going to take this. Oh, boy.
Yeah, well, anyhow, I'm sure, hey, Hunter Renfrow he's a great young man.
Yeah. Just doesn't look the part, apparently. That's all that you care about.
Not at all.
Well, and that's the thing that makes it even more impressive to me is when you see a guy like that. Like Cortez Kennedy, I mean, he wasn't a body beautiful guy at all, but he got it done. So you got to appreciate those guys.
And I'll tell you a story about Cortez because I played, Cortez a bunch, obviously, when I was in Denver here. Played him a bunch. And we used to cut the backside of just everything. And so we had this rule, even when you played on the inside shade of the guard, if we're running like 18 handoff away from that, you wanted to cut him. And Cortez would line up in what we call a 2-eye, which is the inside shade of the guard. And I tried to cut him because it was mandatory. And we're running away. I tried to cut him like 2 or 3 times. And he just hopped. It was like he was gelatinous. He just hopped over me and made a tackle. And so we're playing him. That was like the first game. The second game of the season, we're going to play that. And I refused to cut him. And my coach was just livid. And I was like, I'm not going to do it. Would you rather me block him, or would you rather make him make every tackle in the back? Like, you cannot cut that guy in that shade. He's uncuttable. Like, you just can't get him on the ground. And like, you would not think that a guy that big and like you said, not body beautiful, could make those kind of moves. But, man, you just couldn't get him on the ground. And so we got in this big shouting match, me and Alex Gibbs. And I just like, you can grade me down. You can give me zeros. I don't give a crap. Like, I am going to block the guy. That's what we're going to do. And from that point forward, that became a rule in our offense that you cannot cut a 2-eye. You can't. And it was a Cortez Kennedy rule.
Yeah. Interesting. Too bad that guy's not going to be around this weekend because celebrating the top 50 players, and he was just, he obviously passed away a few years ago, but what a great player, man. He was just such a good teammate. He really was. Yeah. Hey, what do you think about Geno Smith right now? I'm not sure if you've seen any of his games. He's been sacked 12 times, but he's got more interceptions than touchdowns right now with 7. He's leading the league with that number. He threw 3 yesterday. What do you think about his trajectory this season?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I did their game with them in Washington in week 2, and or maybe it was week 3, I think. And he coming off a game where he threw 3 picks against the Chargers in week 2, and like it hasn't looked good. Chip Kelly is the offensive coordinator, but I will tell you he's got to clean things up. There's no question. But ultimately, they have not been able to run the ball. Their offensive line, they got a guy playing right tackle named DJ Glaze, and I was like, maybe DJ Glaze should get into the DJ booth because he'd be better at that than actually playing right tackle in this league. So, like, they were awful. Now, they finally got a breakout game from their running back, Genty, who I think has got the potential of being really good, but they just have not been very good up front. And then from a receiving standpoint, they've got the 2 tight ends. Myers got hurt in the game I was calling, but obviously Bowers is exceptional. But they just don't have that one individual kind of X guy that really frightens you. They got a bunch of dudes that you put in bunch and you try to run an option route underneath. Well, that's great, but sometimes you got to have that one lift the cop, a coverage guy, that one guy that's got that big body that when you give access to him on the outside routes that you can just throw it and he can body you up and catch a ball and move the chains. They just really don't have that guy at the receiver position. So I still think that, I think they're very limited, but Geno certainly's got to clean it up. There's no question.
Mark, where are you at with a tie in football? We saw the Packers and Cowboys tie last night, 40-40.
It's your fault, Bob. It's your fault. And it's your fault and the rest of the fans in Seattle who cried and pissed and moaned when Josh Allen didn't get the ball in sudden death. There was nothing wrong with sudden death, and yet you know who you are, you people, crying and whining about, hey, the last time I checked, you play special teams, you play defense, and you play offense. And you had 60 minutes to win the game, and you didn't get it done then. So now we're going to cry a river that Josh Allen didn't get to touch the ball. What is wrong with you people? There was nothing wrong with sudden death. Sudden death was awesome. Sudden death had finality to it. It's sudden and it's death. How is that ever going to be wrong? Like, that is not going to be wrong. And yet you guys pissed and moaned like wide receivers to get your way. And you know what? And that's what you get. And now you get ties.
Who knew we had so much power? Who knew we had such power?
Congratulations.
So you were happy with the result last night, 40-40.
40-40. No, I like. Hey, as soon as you kick, hey, it's over. We win. Go home. Well, that's what I think. But anyhow,
were you more impressed?
They're not going to go back now.
Were you more impressed with one team over the other in that game, Packers Cowboys?
No, you know what? Honestly, I was like, hey man, that's a great tie. I mean, as far as ties are concerned, like that's a great tie for the Dallas Cowboys. That's a miserable tie for the Green Bay Packers because the Packers, to me, the first 2 weeks of the season were the best team in football. And I was talking to Cliff Kingsbury, who's the offensive coordinator in Washington. He's like, man, defensively, that's the fastest team I've ever seen. They're rushing 4, and they're playing. Their corners are playing flat foot reads at 8 yards, just going. Our guys are so fast; they're going to get to your quarterback before you can throw a double move. So we're just going to be flat footed, and we're going to break on in cutting routes, and we're going to stop you. It's just like it was amazing. And then they lose to Cleveland, which is kind of inexplicable, but you understand, the week-to-week league, and maybe you overlook somebody. But for your defense to give up 40, and the Cowboys, I mean, let's face it, the Cowboys, Dak Prescott's a damn good player, but they're out. They don't have CeeDee Lamb. They don't, and they're still able to hang 40 on you. That's for the Green Bay Packers. That's an awful tie.
Yeah. Hey, what'd you think about, first of all, the Niners losing at home to the Jags, but then also, I don't know if you saw the little dust-up at the end where there was something about stealing signals legally. What'd you think of that little melee there?
I think Liam Cohen of the Jacksonville Jaguars better be careful when he goes and challenges Xerxes. I mean that dude's a Persian king.
He does look just like him. It is uncanny.
Robert Saleh would have just come over the top with some type of thunder punch to the top of the head. I thought it was great. I thought it was cool. William Cohen got pissed off and said, "Keep your name out of my mouth." And then someone goes, "I will end you. I am Xerxes. Bow down to Xerxes, your leader." So I thought it was great. I wish they would have thrown some fisticuffs. That would have been even better. Not that I preach violence, guys. I don't.
No, of course not. Nobody wants to see that.
No, nobody wants violence.
Cohen, I thought he was kind of chicken bleep, to be honest, because we were watching the replay where he walked past Saleh, shook his head, waited till he was about 10 yards away, and then turned around and started barking at him. I'm like, and there's a million people in between him. I'm like, where was that energy when you walked right by him? Why didn't you stop him in his tracks? Say, hey, by the way, keep my name out of your mouth, or whatever it was he said.
I didn't realize it was after the fact.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, I always thought about that with, when they clear the benches in baseball.
Yeah.
And both bullpens run out from the bullpen side by side. Like, why didn't somebody just cold-cock some dude coming out of the next bullpen?
Just stop right there.
Run down. It's like Red Rover send, the bullpen right over, and they all run down together, and then they're going to mix it up? No. Right now, let's just throw hands right out of the bullpen. I could solve a lot of our issues, I think.
With some old-fashioned violence. I'm with you.
Good old-fashioned violence.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm on board with that.
That's what it's about.
He is Mark Schlereth with us each and every week. It's Can't Miss Radio. Mark, we appreciate you, my friend. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk again next week.
All right, sounds good, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Mark.
There he is, Mark Schlereth.